month after I get done with this move. So follow me on Twitch there. So I just got back from my remote regional, and it went horrible. I went 1-4, where my win was a bye, so it was absolutely terrible. I was playing Malice. I was playing a board breaker version of Malice, which you'll see later on in the video. I do want to give some reflection as well as give a very brief overview of what happened with each round, and then some obvious reflections and everything after the initial deck list. So without further ado, round one I played up against Yummy, and game one I ended up winning. I won the dice roll. I started comboing with Malice. He scooped in the middle of my combo. We went to game two. Game two, he went off with his Yummy. He went full combo, and I opened with Dark Ruler No More and a Baldrake. So I went Dark Ruler No More. I then was able to normal summon Chessy Cat. I didn't do anything. I linked it into Link Karibo to get Chessy Cat in the grave. He didn't do anything. I banished Chessy Cat, got Baldrake on the field. I tried to break his board and I couldn't, because I couldn't actually go full combo. He had 3 hand traps. He had an Org and Ash, and he main decked, and he also had Valor, and so he just really hurt the combo. So I had to end on like a Baldrake, and I think on like a Haggard. It was really bad. I swung over 2 of his Yummy monsters, and then he just won. And then game 3, I went first. I normal summoned Ally Justice Quarantine. I set a Book of Moon and a Solemn Judgment, or a Solemn Warning rather. I warninged him. I booked him. He passed. I swung. I couldn't do anything, and then he went and he had a Regeki, and then I just lost. Game 2, I had a bye, or round 2 I had a bye. Round 3 I played against Christian. There were really close matchups. You'll see in my main deck and my extra deck, I almost won both of those. And then in round 4 I played up against VSK9, and I got obliterated, and that wasn't even remotely close. And then the very last round I played against Draco Tail, and that wasn't close either. I bricked a lot. I didn't play well. All of that. So there was that. Some of the reflections that I did have actually were hand traps are still very powerful. So board breakers, this might be obvious, but you need to have a really reliable engine to even make board breakers work. So if you're not going to play a lot of hand traps and you're going to play a lot of board breakers, make sure that you have a very reliable engine that can just keep extending through all the hand traps, and then you're probably solid. I didn't have that. Malice is really easy to stop, especially now, and so it just wasn't a good fit, I guess. The second thing that I wanted to note is that Yummy players are definitely getting better. So in my first regional, I was able to break through every Yummy board, and it was easy. And I think a lot of it was because sequencing and comboing and those kind of things were just not that widely known. People were kind of like shotgunning like their Yummy cards, and this Yummy player, who did end up, I believe, going X1, he seemed to know what he was doing, and he set his boards up so there was very low interaction when he was finished. And then the other thing I would like to note as well is that Draco Tail, don't be surprised if Draco Tail ends up winning multiple YCSs. The things that my opponent was able to do with his Draco Tail engine was phenomenal. He just kept extending and extending and extending. I did not realize that. The very last thing, actually, this is the very last thing. I did not prep for this regional. So one of the problems that I did, and you might find yourself doing this as well, is I have a fully overpowered Malice deck on Master Duel, and I thought that would be enough with my past experience of TCG Yu-Gi-Oh, to know how to win with Malice, and that was just clearly not true. Which I know is ridiculous in hindsight, because on Master Duel we have like Decode, Talker, not Decode Talker, the Link one, and we have like three Dormouse and 2 Gold Sark, and there's just a lot, and we have Maxi. There's just a lot more. From now on, from here on out, I vow I'm going to be playtesting extremely hard with Yummy and with Draco Tail and with Mitsurugi, in order to much better understand the meta. So I will have a schedule out pretty soon of when I will be on like Dueling Nexus or what have you versus Master Duel for Twitch. Additionally, I am not sure what I will be playing in this format yet. There's a budget reason, and then there's also just a playstyle reason. I'm not a huge fan of Yummy Draco Tail so far. Mitsurugi might win out, or I might play something rogue. So we will see about that. But without further ado, let's get into the deck list. All right, I'm going to go through each card one by one. Some will have more explanation than others. Others I won't really talk about. So first off, I play 3 Chessy Cat. Wasn't really much to talk about here. I did like the card a little bit, but I don't know. It's arguably the weakest out of all of them. So out of all the Malice, 3 March Hare. March Hare was cool. I did like it. It did save me a lot in a lot of games. That being said, I'm not sure how I really feel about it at 3. I guess you would have to play it at 3. 2 Rabbits. I opened her a lot. She got Veilered and Orged a lot. Dormouse. Obviously this is at 1 now, but I did play 2 Dormouse. And then for the non-monster engine, I played Triple Ash. Ash was the best hand trap by far in the deck. I have no issues with Ash at all. It's a staple in everything that you should be playing right now. I have the hand trap video. You can see that in the links below for the best hand traps for this current format. And then I played 1 Ball Drake. I wanted to play more Stills, but I didn't have time to get my hands on more of the Stills right now. In hindsight, I don't think it would have really helped a lot, but I did play 1 Ball Drake. And then my least favorite card in the whole deck, I played 2 Phantasme. My thought process was, if I play 2 Phantasme, I was probably going to play against a lot of Yummy. VSK9, they have the Rock Link monster, and then Draco Tail. This was completely dead against. In hindsight, with the regional, this card was atrocious. It didn't really counter Yummy well. When I played up against Draco Tail, it did absolutely nothing. And then when I played up against Christian, it did nothing as well. The VSK9, I didn't even draw it against VSK9, so that was useless. So this card is it's just not good. I don't like the card. Yeah. I played 1 Shifter. This was atrocious as well. I had one opportunity to activate it, which I did, and my opponent, I was playing it up against Yummy, and he didn't care. It seemed like it didn't actually do much, because like my hand was already bad, so I played Shifter and it gave me a turn, and I just drew, and I couldn't do anything. So I did not like Shifter. Plus, the other reason why I didn't like Shifter was, if you open it, it might be good. If you don't open it, it's just not good. So I just don't like it. It's not a good. Yeah. As you guys know, I did play Protos. So this did win me a couple games outright. Against Yummy, it blew them out. And then against Draco Tail, I called Earth, and I think he just didn't have anything, and it like locked him out enough. Other than that, Protos did nothing. It was kind of fun in Malice, because I was able to go off with my Malice cards combo. I had it on like a half board against Yummy, and then I had to pass because he hand trapped me enough. So I couldn't finish the board as I wanted to. And then my following turn, because he wasn't able to do much, I was able to summon Protos and summon all the Malice cards. So that was a lot of fun. But would I play this in Malice again? Well, I'm not going to be playing Malice anymore, so it doesn't matter. But I would probably still play Protos. I still don't think it was completely dead. And it's one of those blowout cards where if you do summon it and it sticks, you just win. 3 upstart, don't have much to say here. This is a staple for me. I liked it. Alright, Dark Ruler No More. I loved this card. This card, I would say, was the MVP of the deck. The problem, again, with this deck was it's just because Malice is so widely known and everyone knows when to hand trap it and everything, it just... Malice doesn't really extend much. Once you go through your combos, it can only banish once, so it is a very fair deck, which is a problem, going up against Draco Tail, Chris John, and Yummy. So this card I would definitely play in whatever I'm going to be playing next, but because it was amazing going second. The Malice board, the Malice engine just wasn't able to crack through the board like I wanted to, but this ensures that you're at least given an opportunity to try to crack through their board. Malice in the Underground, it's fine. Gold Sark it wasn't like crazy good. It was a good card like to hold, so if I had White Rabbit, I could start extending and just try not to summon Dormouse. And then if they did something, I could Gold Sark out the Dormouse. Thirst, I didn't draw this at all, so I can't talk about it. Talents, it's talents. So yeah, I would still play it, very happy with it. Book of Moon. Okay, Book of Moon's a little weird. I misplayed, so I now know if they get Lupus out, no matter what, if I have Book of Moon, I should book the Lupus. I didn't realize that in the moment. I do like Book of Moon still. I know that it targets, which kind of sucks, but it does throw some people off guard and it does disrupt plays, so I do like Book of Moon. I don't know if I will play it my next build of whatever I'm going to be playing, but I do like Book of Moon still. Harpy's Feather Duster and Regeki were absolutely amazing. I'm going to still play these in my upcoming build. Enemy Controller. The idea behind this was if I start comboing and they can Lupus me, or Azuna me, I could tribute one of my Malice cards, grab their Lupus or something, and then just be able to take it and disrupt their play and then link with their monster. I only drew an enemy controller once and I couldn't really use it, so I can't talk about it much. I'm not going to discount it yet, but there's that. Impulse. So I need to talk about Impulse a little bit. So Impulse should be one of the best cards in this deck, and it is very powerful. What I found though, and it may have been in my opponents, but my opponents just had these hands where they could do whatever they wanted to do. So I would activate Impulse with even like activating Ash, and they were still able to push through. And this is with Yummy and with Draco Tail. So I'm not convinced that the Impulse cards are as good as they used to be. On my hand trap tier list, you will see they're not in the top tier anymore, in my opinion. So there's that. I played these two. I did not have TB07. I don't think that it would have made much of a difference in hindsight, but I did have these two. They're alright. And then I played the two Floodgates because I hate the VS K9 matchup, and I didn't have enough time to play test against it. In hindsight, I wouldn't play this. It didn't help me at all. Actually, Goza match is terrible, this format. Rivalry is even worse. So this wasn't good. Alright, now onto the extra deck and the side deck. There wasn't much to really talk about with the extra deck. I played Link Rebo, Link Spider. I didn't go in either one. Haggard I went into a couple times. I never went into Squash Mage, never went into SP, never went into IP. This was for the Protos. I never went into Phoenix. Lightbinder and Red Ransom. I went into them just a couple of times, not much. Gorgon. Still like it. I just wasn't able to go into it yet. Never had the opportunity. Never had the opportunity. This won me one game. I tried to go into Igniter twice, and people ogred me. So that was unfortunate. I wanted to play this against Christian, obviously, but they were able to win before I could just get one more turn to just nuke their field. So there was that. Token. So my side deck, I played Triple Warning. This is one thing that I gathered about this format. I think I'm going to main deck Warning. Warning was one of those cards where I just loved it. I felt like I was really protected, and like I alluded to earlier in this video, one of the problems that I had with Malice was I always felt like I was holding my breath. Like I always felt like I was on the edge of losing, even when I shouldn't have been feeling that way. Part of that was because I wasn't playtesting enough prior to this event, but a big part of it was I just didn't feel like Malice could do enough. My first regional that I played earlier this year, there's a link below for that video. I played windups, like a windup Ryziel variant, and I felt much better playing that, even though it was just windups. I just felt more comfortable playing it, and I felt like I wasn't going to lose any second. This card definitely helped me in both regionals feel that way, so I'm definitely going to play 2 warnings in my upcoming build of whatever I end up playing. So I did really like Warning a lot. Electric Virus. Again, against Christian, I wasn't able to play this because he was able to beat me by the time I drew it, but I will say this is not out of the question. I felt really confident having these in my hand when I did draw them. I just wasn't able to play them yet, but I do feel really confident playing these. They're good against Dracotail, they're good against Christian, they might be good against Sky Striker and shutting off things. So I still do like Electric Virus a lot as a potential. Alright, as you can see in the hand trap video below, Bell is horrible. I don't care what anyone says. It did nothing against Yummy. They just kept comboing. Dracotail, it didn't do much. I just think this card's really weak. Like, really weak, this format. I would not play this card at all. I'm not going to. It's going to go in my binder. Cyclone. Okay, Cyclone's a card where it's like, I wish I could main deck it, and maybe I will. But I did like Cyclone a lot against Yummy to banish their field spells. I did like that a lot against Yummy, especially going first. I could set Cyclone and just pop it off immediately. That was nice. And then I did play this against Yummy. This almost won me a game 3 against Yummy in round 1, but he was able to break my board. It just doesn't do enough. It is a floodgate. It shuts off Yummy. I wish that this was Fossil Dyna in hindsight, because I mean, I don't need to combo with Malice to win. If you have this plus protection against Yummy, they don't have their field spell up, they can't do anything. Like, nothing. So Fossil Dyna would have been better, because I don't know if they can attack over Fossil Dyna off the top of my head with any Yummy normal summons, but at least Fossil Dyna hits Dracotail and like every other deck. So there is that for. So that was my deck list. Again, I wouldn't play a lot of the cards that I already said I wouldn't play, and I'm not going to be playing Malice anymore. I'm going to hang it up. Even with me knowing the combos and everything, it's too easy to stop. It doesn't have a good engine. And so stay tuned to know what I will be playing next for this upcoming format. I do plan on choosing one deck to actually play in tournaments, and I will be very transparent of what that deck is, and I will do a deck profile fairly shortly once I determine what my deck is going to end up being, and we can live through this journey together. So without further ado, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.